right, good evening, everyone. We'll call the Economic Development Planning Committee to order. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Does anyone have anything to discuss pertaining to this committee? Hearing none, move right on to the first resolution. First resolution is a resolution accepting grant for Nelson Fort Plain Brownfield Opportunity Area, amending the 2024 operating budget, New York State Department of State Economic Development and Planning. I need a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Maria. Dan, second. Discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution is a resolution scheduling public hearing, Montgomery County Local Solid Waste Management Plan.
I'll sponsor.
Second.
Not second.
Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? And the third resolution is being pulled tonight.
Do I?
It's probably in the back of the, going back. So, need a motion to adjourn?
I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion.
Kelly Hedwell Jr. Daniel, you're up.
Okay, call the Physical Services Committee to order. And the floor is open for discussion. Hearing none, I'll go to the first resolution, which is item number 2, resolution amending the 2024 operating budget for data processing. I'll sponsor it and looking for a second. Chad. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Okay. All right, next resolution, resolution awarding contracts for the rehab
Wait.
One Venner Road project.
You've got to,
Oh, I didn't go for the approval yet?
yeah.
Okay. Move it to full board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Sorry about that.
No,
Okay. Next resolution, awarding the contracts for the rehab of the Venner Road project. Human Health Services, the office phase for Public Works. Do we have a sponsor? Maria?
Second.
And Chad. Discussion. All those in favor move to a full board, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Abstained? So moved. Item number 4, resolution amending the operating budget, road striping, Public Works. Do I have a sponsor? That's Sweet. And Maria. All those in favor of moving to
Discussion.
full board, say aye.
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion.
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 This isn't
Sure.
done in-house, this doesn't
One
get
does-
done in-house? No. No.
But
I thought there was at one time the county helped the city with it, and I didn't know, so.
So, did you want me to answer that?
Just,
Okay.
yeah.
So the city or the county has a handheld
Oh, gotcha.
for doing.
Not the road, for a road, for like crosswalks.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Sure. Sure. My question, Bob maybe can answer it. He just had an auction. We got money back from the auction. There's no money in this budget whatsoever to come up with it. We're taking $75,000 out of fund balance. And again, you know what my thought is? I mean, I did it to Dan a while ago. You know, there's no attempt even to come up with $10 out of his budget to do this.
we did have that discussion, and the money from the auction went to rebuilding the grade all. That was, I think, $38,000 or something. I can go back and I can look again if you'd like, or I tell you what, I will, so that way for next week's meeting, if there is, then we can amend it.
I mean, I think it just is absolutely the craziest thing where he's got a budget that's huge that he can't find.
75,000.
He can't find anything that he's just coming and saying, I need 75,000, I'm taking out of fund balance. But you know, that's just me, so.
Well, I'll review that again.
I mean, the striping, I know is necessary because it really makes a difference when you're driving on the roads at night with the lines. But again, how do you, I mean, this is a huge shortfall.
Also, yes, and the reason for the extra was that the prices went up from 0.45 cents per foot to 0.9 cents per foot.
Let's let it go.
Just chips, are any emergency road fund or anything help cover this?
I can't speak to that. I can ask that question also.
Where are we starting?
Certain roads.
No,
Location.
Any other discussion on it?
Where are we starting? Where's the shortfall?
the shortfall is not in any individual road, it's in totality. You were short.
So the
So-
striping's been done.
The striping is being done and we're not finished yet and we need to finish. And there were,
And where are we finishing?
in the town of Root, I believe, and Canajahari.
Bert, that's you.
Any other discussion there? All those in favor of move to full board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? So moved. All right, we have one add-on here. It's a resolution amending the 2024 operating budget for the sanitary district. The change is 13,000. It was 16, they revised it to 13,000.
Sponsor.
Do I have a sponsor?
A second.
Mr. Kelly?
And this
Any
one,
other discussion?
must, right?
Yeah,
So just to clarify, the line is changing to 13,000?
yes.
Okay. So we have to amend that,
It's 13.
the amount to 13,000,
Both,
please,
yeah, both.
on both of them,
Yeah.
the lines.
Yeah, done those.
It's a committee. It's just a typo.
Yeah, but you gotta tell your clerk what the typo is, or no one knows.
She told us.
Yeah, no, I'm
Oh,
All right, any further discussion on that? All in favor, move to full board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So moved.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned?
Second.
I had something under other.
Oh,
Bring it up under something else.
Okay.
I'd like to go.
I just wanted to publicly come out and say that the work that was done last week down at the DPW guys did down at the beachfront site, the work that was done, it looks really, really nice. And like I talked to Bob, I just hope that the guys go down there and finish the job. And so that we can actually say that something was done from start to finish and not just done halfway, but
yeah, I did notice that. It looks a lot better up in on Church Street.
It's not my meeting, so. Do you want me to comment on that?
so tell them yes. Tell Bob yes.
Bob's up.
So I met this morning with Eric at the site. We went over what I want done, cleaning all of the brush inside the fence, outside the fence, visible from the road, visible from the throughway exit, and securing all the buildings, because we need to secure the buildings. Can I just brief you on something else too? So, the bids are gonna be sent out next week for the Public Works to Public Health, our Public Defender's Office building. And so it takes 3 weeks for them to go out and come back. It's gonna be very close when it comes to the next, in October's meeting. So I'd just like to prepare you for that I'd like you to be able to consider to pass that next month, so we can start, and we wanna start, we're gonna have to start very close to November 1st to be able to beat the deadline of March, whatever it is with that building.
Megan, are you aware of the contract? You know, is there time frames in there? No, in the bid saying we need to start by here and end by here in that bid?
I have not seen the bids yet. I'm planning on reaching out to the architect, about a few details on that tomorrow morning. Is there something specifically you want me to find out?
Well, we need to end by, what's the end date before we lose the money?
It's in March, I don't have the,
Yeah, I would imagine they would have that. I'll double check with him though.
Yeah, because otherwise, you know, if they did accept the bid and they don't get done until May, now we're on the hook for that.
No, we'll let them work until May, but we're only gonna pay them till March.
Right?
Okay, I'm all set.
We're adjourned.
Yeah.
It's not a meeting anyways.
Yeah, I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee meeting together at 6:11. Any discussion? Being that there's no discussion, there is no resolution, so
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Martin and Maureen.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Health and Human Services Committee. It is 6:11. First on the agenda is discussion. Anything? Hearing nothing, we'll move into tonight's resolutions. First is a resolution amending the 2024 operating budget for mental health. Do I have a sponsor? Legislator Majewski and Chairman Sweet. All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That will move on to the full board. Next is a resolution amending the 2024 operating budget for social services. Sponsor? Legislator Wilson and Legislator Majewski. Any discussion? I do have a question for you, Matt, please. This was for an auction that was held in the spring?
Yeah, so as
Okay.
part of DPW's auction, one of the things I talked to the county executive was we purchased the cars, so when they're sold, to have those revenues come back to us instead of just going back to DPW, because as Legislator Hadwell spoke of, to try to save money, you know, for us to be able to get some of that money to offset other expenses that we have with our vehicles. We just felt like this is something that we may want to do.
Okay, but this wasn't a separate auction, it was
Nope,
included
part of
in
the
that
major
one that,
auction, so that's
we
why
now
it's
wanna
coming up
have
now. We
an
were waiting for
inventory
them to
of.
receive the funds, and now we can apply it back to PSS.
okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That moves on to the full legislature. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign an agreement with the city of Amsterdam for social services. Need a sponsor? Legislator Majewski, Legislator Wilson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That will move on to next week's meeting. Next is a resolution accepting HEAP infrastructure administrative funds and amending the 2024 operating budget for social services. Need a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Headwell and Chairman Sweet. Any discussion? Legislator Kelly.
Do we subcontract the application process out, or is that all done in-house?
No, we subcontract, we do one with Beaumont, and we also do one with OFA. So those will be coming to you guys next month. This is actually part of what we're looking at, for when we did our audits, is sometimes we get these funds, we don't accept them, so it gives us additional funding, essentially. So you guys budgeted for however much in these line items at the beginning of the year. If we got this money in, we then would seek reimbursement, but we can't get more equipment, right? So what we needed is more equipment. This helps us receive these funds, without coming back to the county to add funds in to cover those additional expenditures, if that makes sense. But the application process are different contracts. Those will be probably coming forward next month for you guys.
Okay,
Does that
Any
help,
other-
Mark?
any other discussion?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That moves on to the full board. Next is a resolution accepting heat infrastructure administrative funds.
It's a duplicative, it's the same exact resolution, so I don't know why it got put in place.
Okay,
Sorry, I know I probably shouldn't have said that.
okay.
Just let her go.
Everyone likes to hear me talk. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to renew a contract with Ventec Inc. for social services. I'm a sponsor. Legislator Kelly and Legislator Wilson. Any discussion? Legislator Kelly.
Is this a new or?
It's reoccurring. Yeah, it's a reoccurring, it's really software for our electronic signatures for eligibility, so it helps us process applications faster for people who come in.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That moves on to next week's meeting. Next one is a resolution accepting additional American Rescue Plan Act funding for social services. Legislator Kelly will sponsor. And do I have a second? Chairman Sweet. Discussion? Legislator
Is
Kelly.
this outside of the county ARPA funds?
Yes, this is specifically for our adult protective services. I came to you prior, we had received some money because we were able to spend it, and we were able to spend it quickly. They came back to us and said, we got another 20 left over, will you guys do it? So we're able to do with that 20 and the 10-8 that you approve, push forward the full board for next week's meeting. We'll cover a small SUV, so we'll be able to get a new vehicle for our fleet with the intent that we have about 3 or 4 cars. So I'm gonna prep you for budget meeting because there'll be another line item in there for another vehicle next year. We have 3 or 4 cars that desperately need to get off the road. So once we get past that point, we will come up with a policy on what exactly, when we are ordering vehicles and when we are not ordering vehicles at DSS. This has been a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, is that every year we're asking for vehicles, we asked for 2 this year. So I'm on board with us controlling a little bit of that, but until we can get the pretty much useless cars out of our fleet, this is what we have to do. On a daily basis, you can come by, we don't have cars. I mean, they are actually being utilized. This was one of the first questions I asked. Seems like we got a big fleet, are we using them all the time? And the answer to that is yes. Yes.
Legislator Kelly.
How many are needing to be replaced?
I think I'll have this better for budget, but I believe that we have 3 cars right now that we need to put into auction.
And replacing one of those with this or 3 on top of this?
One will be replaced with this.
So there are 2.
There will be 2. Don't, again, potentially, don't quote me, I gotta get that, we've got.
You're on tape.
We got a good car person that will answer that question for me tomorrow morning when I get back.
I know it's off the topic, but whatever happened to the enterprise and all that stuff? I mean, I understand that it doesn't work maybe for DPW and stuff, but.
At that point, what was happening is we were doing it in-house, but then the in-house kind of started sliding, and it kind of got lost.
Is it something that we need to re-look at?
I think it's something that if the DSS department could probably handle really well by themselves. The only problem that I have with the whole thing is when a vehicle becomes 5 or 6 years old, it should be placed somewhere else, within the county, or be able to be used, because it's there has to be a life expectancy with DSS, with the funds, and then it could be moved on and done. I mean, we've bought some cars for different departments this year that I don't think we should have ever purchased, because we could have moved some and taken care of a lot of this, what we're talking about doing, and saved a lot of money. And I mean,
So then, how often within your budget are there funds to get reimbursed back to fully cover the purchase of the vehicle?
So the ARPA funds have been, 100% unexpected, able to replace 2 vehicles this year, get them off, move towards where we can get better control of the fleet. Otherwise, there's formulas that come into place that, we can put this under admin money. We've got different ways that we can claim this throughout DSS. So sometimes you'll see when, a resolution would come forward that, it would be 60%, reimbursed 40% of the county. It's all gonna depend on where we are at with our spending and our cap with claims. So sometimes we can put that under admin, but if we're close to the cap, we're not gonna be able to. So it's always dependent on when we're actually purchasing the car. When we budget it in the beginning of the year, Mark, we are planning on that being pretty much 100% reimbursed.
Do we meet our cap every year?
Yeah. Well, no. 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 So, it's preview to your budget meeting, we're finding a better way to do our claiming. We're finding more things that can be reimbursable, more things that can be claimed. Just to give you an idea, DPW, we have a full-time person cleaner at Venner Road. We will be reimbursing that salary. We started doing it this year. We will continue to do it. So there was wiggle room on admin for us to be able to get that position and start to pay for it to help out Eric's budget. We did something similar with the county attorney's office. That's the county attorney has been doing so much work for DSS. We've done that same thing. So, there are things that we are investigating of how we use that cap that is going to give us some additional funds and moving things around and really analyzing that.
Legislator Kelly.
I think it's great that we're doing that, but the county has already been prepared to cover those costs. If we need new vehicles, it's a shell game, we're just moving the money around.
But
If
whether,
we're giving, helping to pay for a cleaner or pay for the county attorney and we need vehicles.
Yes and no. So we haven't gone to the cap and fully exercised reimbursements in past.
And how long?
I can't give you an estimate. I know since I've been here, this has been an issue. I know.
So we haven't met it in the last.
Yeah, we
2
just
years.
found, total transparency, there was $300,000 in unspent cap money that we just found about a month ago, that we're able to get 100% reimbursable for. That'll probably go into next year's fund balance, is the way it looks, because we were able to
You have
save
the
some
floor.
money.
And so then are we able to, like when we do our audits, are we able to go back to retro years and readjust and say,
In some cases, yes. So that's been one of the main parts of Bonadio coming in. The contract that you all approved early on this year has really shed some light on some of those things. So yes, they will be able to. So to give you an example, we're gonna come up to another resolution where we have a kid who needs to be placed in a specialized program. If we code that the right way, we can get extra reimbursement. If we didn't, which we didn't do, which is why we're coming to you, and having to move money internally within our budget, not using fund balance, those things can be de-linked after a year, and we can seek reimbursement back from the state. That money then just goes straight back into the fund balance, right? Because the books have already been closed, so DSS sees nothing on it. So in this year's budget, you're not gonna see us have given much of an increase in our budget. One of the main reasons is we are going to be seeking the reimbursements up front, and you're not gonna get it in the back end and have it add to the fund balance.
shut
Legislator Kelly, anything else? Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? That will move on to next week's full meeting. The next resolution has been pulled, so we will move on to the final resolution. is a resolution amending the 2024 operating budget for social services. It was sponsored Legislator Kelly and Legislator Wilson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That will also move on to next week's full meeting. Anything under other?
Why was that resolution pulled, Bob?
They're changing the amount.
Could I?
Yes.
The mental health one, that's gonna come back next month. They just need to change the amount.
I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Legislator Kelly, Legislator Allen, at 6:25.
Okay. Open the Personnel Committee meeting, call to order. Is there any discussion from the floor? Hearing none, Martin? Motion to adjourn?
All right, we'll call the Education Government Committee to order at 6:26. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Anyone have anything to discuss pertaining to this committee? Hearing none, move on to resolutions. First resolution is resolution amending Resolution 264 of 2022 American Rescue Plan funding. A sponsor, Martin, second, Maria. Discussion, Martin.
Where's the remaining balance earmarked for now?
District 4.
I would like it in District 1. That's not one. We got nothing.
We got nothing either, so.
So, you want me to address that? So there's several areas where there's been unused funds for the American Rescue Plan. And we are tallying up and accumulating what those are and plan on coming up with a plan for redistribution.
Go ahead.
Do the funds have to be used by December of this year?
That's my understanding.
And do you have to come back to the ledge to distribute?
I believe we had to get the approval from you to distribute the past ones, and,
Right.
and the same will happen with this.
Not that I'm voting on it or anything, but the money that was earmarked for the Children's Day at the fair, couldn't a piece of that be used so that it doesn't use fund balance?
I mean, it probably could be, but we also probably should wait until see what other ideas that they have for there. I mean, if we get to the point where we have to spend it because we're gonna lose it because it's December, then
You're
we could.
getting close.
We
You
could.
can't really start a major project at this point.
Does it have to be spent or does it have to be earmarked?
I think it needs to be allocated.
DSS needs a car.
Well, 27,000 is a big project.
No, but I
Listen, worst comes to worst, we can buy DSS a new car.
just want to check on that because I was under the assumption it had to be
Easy.
spent.
Can you check on that, executive?
I'm writing it down.
Thank you.
Maybe we split it between Dan and Matt, because they're the only two department heads that came to the meeting.
Yep.
No one else wants to come, they get no money.
You're not a department head.
It'll be a good budget season.
You get a car.
And you get one too.
Any further discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? That to the full board. Next resolution, resolution amending resolution 197 of 2023, and its sponsor, Dan, second, Chad, discussion.
I don't know if you read my resolution, but DSS is gonna get charged additional money from the Department of Law. So this is just our Westlaw contract that, it's for online legal research. It's the database instead of law libraries. This is what we have now. For the first time ever, every single legal seat is now filled at the county. which means our costs go up because it's subscriber-based. So DSS will get passed on that bill, and we're good to go.
So this replaces law library?
It does.
So now every department doesn't need to buy a law library?
Just a subscription.
They could just ask me to look it up.
And how do we go about, can we make sure that departments know that this is available instead of every department buying their own?
I mean, I've told all the departments through the years.
It's still line items in people's budgets though.
Yeah.
And if it's available and already paid for, there's no reason to include it in your budget.
That's,
Good point.
that's fair.
Okay. That's it. That's good.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Move to the full board. And the last resolution is resolution setting the dates and times of additional budget meetings. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
I need a second. I will, Junior. So you all have a list on your desk of the proposed dates. First date is Tuesday, October 15th. And we're gonna meet at 5:30, try to get in here a little earlier. And Wednesday, Thursday. Martin?
I may be late to the 15th.
15th? Okay. So, just so you know that we do need a quorum at these meetings because they are public meetings, to be able to discuss. Martin?
Do you need a quorum at a public meeting? Because we hold public hearings with only one person.
I was asked the same question, if it was considered to be a workshop, does it need to be?
Because we take no action at these workshops, it's all information based.
I believe they're getting posted as a meeting, which would need a quorum. I mean, are you posting it as a workshop?
It hasn't been posted yet, so.
I would call them budget workshops.
Is there an issue with a quorum?
No,
There
but,
could
I
be.
mean, if we get here and we don't have enough people, then we
Waste everybody's
We're
wasted
gonna
the
have
whole
two
night.
Automatically, that means one person gets sick, we don't.
Well, I think this is a good time to figure out if people can come or not, and if we need to change the dates, we should change the dates.
I don't know if anyone, does anyone have a problem with these dates, other than Martin being late?
I don't have a problem, it's just,
I'm not sure.
I might add it on the
16th.
Okay.
extension deadline is the 15th.
Well, should we have them posted as, budget workshops instead of meeting?
Yeah, you can you can post them that way. I would just change the resolution to note that, and
Right, no, we receive information, ask
Yeah.
questions, no votes.
Yeah.
It's really a workshop versus.
Yes,
a
workshop.
Yeah,
So
okay.
let's make those changes.
So we'll change the resolution to say budget workshop, and then we can keep the same dates and times. Because that won't have to be posted until, again, Jen?
Are we presented the budget ahead of time, or do we get the budget that week?
Oh, we don't get a budget.
No, we're not getting, no, okay.
We don't.
I'm just curious of
Yeah,
the,
there is a calendar.
Bob's just gonna tell you it's okay and just go from that.
So, October 5th is when we got this one
okay.
of last year, and we met the week after, right?
So one's on its way.
Usually the week before, but it says here,
Okay,
so you'll have to come to pick it up if you'd like it.
very well.
Yeah, so you get your, when is it, Martin?
No, last year it was October 3rd, or 5th, that it was placed on our desks. So it should be on our desk before this. We just.
Can we
have to
get an
come and pick it up.
electronic copy sent to us?
Now you're asking an awful lot.
Boy.
We can open
It's
attachments now.
2024.
It is?
Yeah.
We don't do Zoom calls either, so it's okay.
Thank you.
What I can do, there is a resolution, if you wanna look at the resolution, it's resolution 165 of this year, that gives you the calendar
Yep.
of all the dates, just so that you're aware of meeting times and our deadlines and things of that nature. Okay, so we'll change the, you have that on there, change the from meeting to workshop, keep the same dates and times. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Kelly, Walter.
Martin,
Budget and Finance Committee to order,
discussion.
discussion.
Last month, I had a conversation with the county attorney, and we were talking about contracts a little bit. And we have a lot of contracts here in the county, and people sign off on them to get paid. But the question is, do we really know if the contracts are being done? And again, I don't wanna pick on Eric, I don't wanna pick on DPW, but the easiest one to even think about is mowing. We do mowing all summer long. Do we even know that it was all done? Did anyone actually go out and check to see if all the towns did what they were supposed to do? Did all the roads get done? Everything get done? You know, we're signing, there's a secretary signing off on the bill, but we have supervisors and we have all these different people. And that's just one department. We have all these other departments that we have these contracts for, and we're just paying people. I would like to see something somewhere where the contract goes out with a statement saying that I have read the contract and the contract has been fulfilled, and I'm signing off on it saying that it was done. And contracts are paid 4 times a year, then they do it 4 times a year. I just think that there should be more of a checks and balances than just, you know, we hire a contractor to do some work, and is it being done? You know, I would like to know that, yeah, we're paying the bill and that contract was done the way it was supposed to be done. And I really feel that there's some contracts that are going out that the department heads haven't even read the contracts. They don't really know what's in the contract 100%, and it's being done. And I mean, that's my thought on that, the issue. And I know it's gonna be, with some different contracts, it might be a little more cumbersome than others, but I think we should be holding everybody at some kind of a standard, saying, yeah, it was done. You know, I think we owe it to the taxpayers that, you know, we're just not giving the money away, and then 6 months down the road we say, wait a minute, why wasn't that done? But we've already paid the contractor, it's already been done, and we can't undo stuff at that point. You know, I mean, it's just food for thought. But,
Is there a list of contracts that we can, I mean, per department, at the beginning of the year, if a contract was awarded, shouldn't we have a list so that, you're right, the contract was supposed to be completed on February 3rd. Was it completed? Was it completed correctly? Are we overstepping our responsibility, or is that, I mean, we're paying the bill, so I guess not really.
I mean, we have bus contracts, we have, you know, different things, or things, I mean, you believe that, you know, when people are submitting the bills, that they're looking at it, and I'm sure that DSS is doing, but someone should be known that I am signing this thing saying that it was filed the way it was supposed to be filed, and if it wasn't, you know, then there could be some problems, you know. I mean, and it stops that problem that we were gonna have in the very beginning when we were gonna pay the mowing contract in February. You know, I mean, that would never have happened, because the fact is, you can't sign the document saying that this has all been done and we want payment in February.
Right.
But it's just, and again, I mean, I just picked the mowing one because it's an easy one, but I mean, we've got contracts everywhere. I mean, we have contracts now for stuff down on the Venner Road project. You know, was it done? Was it done the way it was supposed to be done? You know, who's watching this? I mean, we built a DPW building and we had lots of discussion about, was it done properly? You know, these are the things that we need to be watching. I mean,
So,
Yes, county executive.
so you're asking that And this is just for clarification for me, are you asking that a vendor verifies that the work is done? Or are you asking that we have an employee that, say, through the auditing department, goes and checks on and makes sure things are done periodically, or what kind of structure?
I'm saying that if the contract is in the DSS, any of the contracts that are in DSS, that Matt would be signing, saying that these contracts have been fulfilled and need to be done, and we can pay, instead of and then it's being, at least he knows it's being done, or whatever, how it's done within each department. And I mean, yes, it's gonna add another layer of work, but the thing is we know, Matt says to somebody, I'm signing this contract that says all this work has been done, it better have been done because I'm signing it, not just the secretary signs, hey, yep, this was done, let's submit the bill.
Well, in terms of the budget process, we're actually supposed to have a listing of all proposed outsourced or privatization of county functions in detail, along with separate statement with rationale. We don't hit it, but.
Matt, I mean, you're a department head. Do you see a lot of conflict with something along the line? Do you see it somewhat working, or do you think it's just a total?
I think you bring up a valid point of the verification that a contract was done. Do I think it's being done? Yes. Do I think we have the documentation that you're citing? No. So, I think you're right. I'll use DSS as the only example I can use, right? Is that if we have a contract, we found out that there was employees, so it's our turnabout home run program, there's X amount of people who should have been employed. We knew that there was 3 positions that were vacant. They submitted a bill. We saw that they were putting in for 12. They only had 9. We questioned that. We kick it back to them. We had our checks and balances in place. Does that always work? No. We have good people that are looking at it now, that are really scrutinizing things that we're doing. So, again, I think you're simply stating, like, at the end of a contract term, that a department head would sign off that all services were rendered. I personally, from my department, I know we have about 50 contracts, and that's not a massive workload for us. I would sign off and say, yes, this was done, it was verified. If that helps the legislature feel like someone was really observing it, right? Because we have quarterly meetings with a lot of people we do contracts with. So, I'm aware of whether or not they're doing what is said in the contracts. I can't speak to DPW, with a lawn, my assumption is Eric knows whether that's done or not, because if it wasn't done, he's gonna get the complaints. And he's gonna have to send somebody out there. So Eric's gonna be on top of that, and he's gonna say, that lawn needs to be done. If it's not done, we're gonna have some issues. Again, it's a checks and balance. It's one sheet verifying whether the contract was fulfilled. Me personally, we have a lot of contracts. I don't see it as an extra step, but I also don't want to speak for all of the departments.
No.
So maybe we can have a list of contracts per department, and then check them off as they are completed. Everyone knows like Matt said, he knows what contracts he has. I would think all the department heads would know what contracts they have outside the county.
I would say it's probably easier to do a form that's submitted with the voucher that says, I can this contract was completed, that's signed, or something like that, but it's something we could look into.
I think it's a good idea.
I mean, I'm not saying that none of the contracts have been followed or not been followed, I'm just saying this is just a way of, it's putting everybody, that all our people saying, you know what, we have to make sure we're doing our homework and making sure things are being done the way it's supposed to be being done.
Yeah.
And we're not being lax and just saying, it's okay. Thanks, Martin.
Can we request this information with their budget presentations?
Number 9 on our request is there. Whether we get it or not.
It's just, if I can interject, sometimes the professional professional services contracts are there in case we need something, so we may not know at budget time what exactly is there. There is some wiggle room for, you know, if we think we need a professional contract
Like
at
an
some
attorney.
point. So there's, I'm just sharing from DSS perspective, that sometimes that line item, I might not be able to
Right.
tell you exactly, but I'll be able to give you a very good estimate of what that would be for the contract.
Yeah, but that's very explainable.
Yep.
Yeah,
And back when the legislature first started, we did receive those. Our budget document backup was this tall. Now we're down to the budget and whatever department we meet with, their slides. I do agree, but it is requested in our budget process. So if we want it, we're meeting with them all, tell them. We'd be happy. Any other discussion? Moving right along. One resolution, resolution approving the abstract of audited claims. Is there a sponsor?
sponsor.
Legislator Majewski, second by Legislator Walter. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried. Anything under other? Hearing none, motion to adjourn. All right.